Hey everybody, just wanted to give you a quick view at a couple little features that we're pushing out here in a small little side release, some quality of life improvements that we wanted to make available to users. If you check your version number, just coming up here to help of and about 3857, or maybe a version or two higher than that. But if any versions higher than that, you should have these couple of features available. Both of these are going to be over in the digitizer. One of them relates to, and maybe this is actually new to you, depending on if you are much of a shortcut key person. But previously, in previous versions, you would be able to select like a segment line that you've drawn, and using the plus or minus keys that are on your keyboard over in your number pad area, you could increase the plies up and down just by hitting the plus and minus buttons like you see here on my screen. But what we've done in this latest version is now we actually support that in a multi-select environment. So if I selected multiple segment lines here, you can see I have multiple items selected, and I can hit the plus button and I'm going to increase all of those plies at the same time. Of course, it's relative to the amount of plies that they had previously. You're just adding a ply onto whatever they previously had. Or subtract also works as well using the minus button. In addition, we've also added that onto generated members, both, and that wasn't available at all before, where you previously, if you wouldn't be able to use that shortcut key on a single generated member, you can now. And then also you can do it on a group of them as well. So plus and minus keys available to use to increase plies on both generated members as well as segment lines, both in single and multiple plies, should now work. One other then change that we've brought out here is the idea of a custom ortho capability. And so if you've ever had a building that looks a little bit like this on your page, where it's it's angled for whatever reason, maybe there's multiple buildings on it and some are angled and some are not, or maybe just a whole portion of the building is angled. And so you're having to kind of work with an angled portion. It doesn't really make sense to level the page because there's other things that you have to draw. So you kind of have to deal with an angle like this. So now what you're able to do is you're actually able to set a custom ortho. You can see that down here. I'm going to come here to the little up arrow. It will show me that I can choose to set a custom ortho angle. So I'm going to say I want to basically use this building right here as my line. I'm going to trace it. And now I've set my custom ortho for that. So if I go to draw something now, like maybe an area, I'm going to come over here and just to be clear, I'm going to turn off regular ortho so it's just easier to see where my custom orthos are snapping to. You can actually have both on at the same time or off. They're controlled independently, but I'm going to turn my regular ortho off, and you can see then as I then go to do this, right now I don't have any ortho snap, but if I turn my custom ortho on, now I'm going to snap to those angles, and it's basically going to automatically register when I draw that line any of the basically the same 90-degree angles that the systems that I would set up. So basically any angles that are running this direction that are perpendicular to the line that I drew, as well as obviously both directions this way, are going to be set for those custom snaps. So just to show you a little bit more clearly, if I was to have a start point right here, you can see where my snap points are with my custom angles there. So, and then that can be, you can, again, you can toggle that off separately from your regular ortho. And you can also choose to clear that custom ortho, and you can set an alternate angle instead. So lots of different ways you can leverage and use that. And then also there is a way to set a hotkey for the custom ortho. We've introduced that as well. So if you come to help and go to tools and go to settings, and under hotkeys, there should be an option then for your custom ortho. This will come in by default as just a blank, but you can set it into a particular key set. So that way your F8 would work for your custom ortho on and off, and then your regular ortho on and off, and then you could have your own hotkey for toggling the custom ortho on and off. So if it's something that you run into on a regular basis, or at times where you need to be able to draw in environments like that, those tools are available now. So that kind of brings us to the end of the primary things in that small release that we're just making available to users. Again, appreciate your feedback on things that would be helpful and make your workflow easier. Both of these items were things that we just heard from users, and so wanted to make available to them. All right, we'll talk to you more later.